Satnam, it's Guru Matar. Oh wait, it's Lynn. Oh wait, I'm having an identity crisis. Guru Matar, Lynn. We're one. I want to talk to you today about my all-time favorite out of all of the modalities I've studied. And trust me, I have studied a lot and a lot of modalities. Breathwork is one of my all-time favorites. Why is that? Because it gives you what you need. Not what you want, what you need. Did you catch that? Usually, it's our thinking mind of wanting something, wanting healing, wanting this, wanting that gets us in trouble. It gets in our way. Why I love breathwork so much is because you use the power of your own breath. It's kind of like a portal. You take the breath, the portal deep into your psyche, and whatever you need, your psyche's going to take you there. How does it work exactly? Well, as you take in this surplus of oxygen, there are changes happening. Carbon dioxide, the body is changing into alkaline. I mean, there's a lot going on. But while all of that is happening, you are moving up into what I like to say elevated states of consciousness. Some people call it altered states of consciousness, but I kind of wonder, are you sure this isn't just enhanced, elevated states that we could always be in? Wouldn't that be cool? Well, just for this particular session, we'll call it altered states of consciousness. So when you take in this surplus of oxygen, that portal to take you in, your ego takes a step to the side and your inner light is illuminated. Your inner light knows everything about you, and you are actually always moving towards wholeness, no matter what. That's just an automatic response within your body. Let me give you an example. Let's pretend like you cut yourself, okay? You cut yourself. Maybe you clean the wound, maybe you don't. Maybe you put a Band-Aid on, maybe you don't. What happens? Automatically, the body goes in to a healing response and heals that cut. Your psyche is the same way. You can automatically allow your psyche to do the magical healing. But so many times we get in our own way. And that's why I love breathwork so much. Because ego literally takes that step. That inner light brings forward whatever you need. For some people, they go on a very deep healing journey. I call it the unfinished business journey. If you got any unfinished business in your psyche and it's time, then your inner light, your inner wisdom is going to take you to that experience so that you can complete it. Maybe it could, let me think, what is an example? I remember when I got into my divorce. Yeah, I didn't fully process all of that. And on a conscious level, I tried to process all of that. Saw therapists thousands of dollars later. Didn't work out. But breathwork, because it's almost like my inner light, my inner wisdom is my therapist, and it knows everything about me. So who better to help heal myself than me? That's why I love breathwork. So you might go on what we call the healing experience. If you have any old traumas or any unfinished business. There's other experiences within breathwork. You could also maybe go on a transpersonal experience. Transpersonal, if you think about, like, here's the earthly experience. The transpersonal realms is anything is possible. I've actually become Mother Earth in the transpersonal realms. I also have talked to my spirit angels and my guides. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Literally, what I do today was because I was in a breathing session. I used to own a Halloween store. I only worked 3 months out of the year, so I was not looking for a new career path. There I was breathing, and all of a sudden I heard my angels and my guides tell me to sell my business. I'm like, oh. And then they were like, it's time for you to share what you've learned. I started crying. I didn't think I was good enough. They actually gave me all of the information, all of the download of all of the trainings I'd done. They assured me that I was good enough. And I took that leap of faith and I sold my business. And 10 years later, I'm on that path that I received guidance for in a breathing session. So in the transpersonal realms, anything is possible. You might become a lion. You might talk to your angels, your guides. You might become Mother Earth. It's one of my favorite experiences, but one experience is not better than the other, because you also might have what we call a rebirthing experience. A lot of times that birthing process was not complete. within your psyche. And so you might actually have a rebirthing experience. Many people describe a rebirthing experience as kind of like being birthed out of your ego and into your authentic self. It's one of the most beautiful experiences. And so that's, number 3 experience. The number 4 experience is what I like to call the yogic sleep. Many traditions call it the yogic sleep. And why we call it the yogic sleep is because you think you have fallen asleep. And all of a sudden you hear my voice and you're like, oh man, I fell asleep. But you didn't fall asleep. Your inner healer took you into such a deep state, into that delta realm that feels like you've fallen asleep, but it's such a healing state. Chances are during the session, you will more than likely go into the delta realms because of all of the sound. I like to do my breath work with sound. Sound healing is magical. Your body knows how to fine-tune itself. And so when we play the drums, giving you that rhythm back into you, when we play all of the beautiful gongs, that's working on your subconscious, all that stuff that you don't even know is ruling your life. The crystal bowls, they fine-tune all of the chakras. Sound healing is magical. I could go on forever. Can't do that because this video is going to be a short video. Another experience you might have is what we call the sensory experience. All your senses become tenfold. Sometimes instead of hearing the music, you start to see the sound. You might even notice all of the blood going through you. It's truly a magical experience. But while we're on the sensory experience, I'm going to highly recommend you not eat or drink anything 2 hours prior to your session. Why not drink anything? Well, if you got to go to the bathroom a little bit, let me tell you, that sensory experience is going to be tenfold. Then you're going to have to go to the bathroom, and you're not going to want to go to the bathroom. But you got to go. So if you don't drink anything, you don't have to worry about that. And why not eat anything? Digestion is a very, very, very active process in your body. And if all of that has to go to digestion, then you're going to get sleepy. And I don't want you to fall asleep during this session. I want you to have the most profound session possible. So try not to eat or drink anything 2 hours prior. But if you absolutely have to, have a little bit of something, that's okay. Just don't make it big. So I want to invite you to join me on a Breathwork Soundbath. It's my favorite experience. I used to lead them once a month in studios across Los Angeles. But as you know, we can't do that right now, and I have been completely hesitant in doing virtual ones. So I've been doing some virtual ones, and I am here to report something that I actually didn't think was possible. People are having a deeper experience with the virtual one. Some of the reasons they say, let's pretend like you're in studio. There you are in studio, and you're going on one of your very deep healing, and all of a sudden you start to cry. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to disturb my neighbor. Well, when we're doing the virtual, you're at home. There's nobody to disturb. You could cry all you want. You could scream. You could laugh. You could do whatever you want, and no one is going to notice. It's just you. So that's the report, and also other reasons, but again, the video can't be that long, otherwise you won't watch it. So let me give you some tips on this breathwork session. Number 1, your computer sound and your phone sound is not the best quality. I know some of you keep telling me it is, but it's not. When you go into altered states of consciousness, everything is tenfold. And so the sound on your little phone or your little computer is not that great tenfold. So I'm going to highly recommend you get something external. This is one of those cute little Bluetooth speakers. It's amazing sound these days. You could go bigger. I got a bigger version of it. Now, why I like the Bluetooth? Because you could just set it right there next to you on the floor. And then you can feel the beat of the music, because I will be playing a very specially curated soundtrack that's going to take you into deep levels of your psyche. And lots of it has some rhythm to get you deep inside. And so if you got your little speakers off your phone and stuff, you don't really feel the bass. You could also do a headset. I like the headset. The only problem with the headset is when you're in the altered states, you're going to be in this session about an hour to an hour and a half. Wearing a headset for that long isn't so fun. Now, how do you set up for your breathwork sound bath? I'm on the floor. I always like to do mine as close to Mother Earth as I can get. And so I just took my, the comforter off my bed, I folded it in half, and I put it on the floor to give me some cushion. Why do I need cushion? Remember, you're lying down for about an hour to an hour and a half, and that's a long time to be on the floor. So if you have a little bit of padding, it's much more comfortable. You also want to make sure you have a pillow. But notice, this pillow is not one of those big, gigantic, fluffy pillows. If you have a big, gigantic, fluffy pillow, you're going to kink your neck and you're not going to be able to breathe. And we need you to be able to breathe really deep. And so make sure your pillow is kind of flat, not too fluffy. I like to have the world's softest blanket. It's so cuddly. You can have whatever blanket you want. I also like to have a mask. And I just realized, I forgot to put the mask in front of me. Give me 1 second. I'm back. You could use any mask you want, but my all-time favorite mask, it's called Mindfold. You can get it on Amazon. You can go on to actualmindfold.com. But why I love it, they have these little holes in them. And so when you're in them, you could actually open your eyes, which I've done before. Because I've been in one of those breathing sessions, and I'm like, this can't be real. And I open my eyes and I'm still in it and I'm seeing my third eye and I'm seeing this amazing light show of transpersonal realms. And so I love the Mindfold, but you can use any blindfold. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. So did I cover everything? You need a mask. I'm sorry, did I say need? If you want a mask. Ideally some form of speakers, a soft pillow that's not too large, world's fluffiest blanket to make you nice and comfortable. Some padding. Now I know some of you are like, I'd rather do this in bed, which is okay. You could do this in bed, but make sure it's not a small bed because you want to be in the middle of the bed. Sometimes when you need these altered states of consciousness, your inner healer might take you into a trembling sensation and you're like, I don't know if I want to do that. You have in you an amazing knowing. Your human animal instinct knows techniques. You might just start to tremble out any of that unfinished business. So it's good news if you go there. But if you're doing that on your bed and you might roll around and then roll off the bed, not good. So make sure you put some pillows alongside of you. As we're speaking about that, please do not do this on a couch. I know we all want to be couch potatoes, so why can't we be breathwork potatoes? But if you do this on a couch, there's not a lot of room for you just to open up. And let me tell you, when you go into the transpersonal realms, sometimes you just want to move your arms up because it's amazing. You're like flying with the angels and it's just, and if you're limited to that couch, don't limit your experience. So, a big gigantic bed. Ideally, you're on the floor with some padding, and then I covered everything else. Okay? Are you excited as I am? All the information that you need is in the link below. So I hope to see you. My plan is that we start doing these regularly again because it truthfully is my all-time favorite healing modality because there's something inside of you that knows how to take care of you. And so let's go. Let's go and take care of yourself. Love you. Hope to see you soon.